in the dim glow of a child's bedroom, where shadows danced like forgotten secrets on the walls, sat a peculiar toy named Labubu. Labubu wasn't just any stuffed creature. She was a whimsical monster from a faraway land of dreams and nightmares, with fluffy pink fur, oversized ears that flopped like wilted petals, and eyes that sparkled like hidden gems in the dark. Her creators had designed her to be cute and cuddly, a companion for bedtime stories and playful adventures. But Labubu harbored a secret voice that whispered only when the moon was high and the world was asleep. She didn't tell fairy tales of princesses and dragons. No, Labubu spun tales of the unseen, the forbidden, the terrifying truths that lurked in the cracks of reality. One fateful night, little Timmy, a curious boy of 8 with tousled hair and wide eyes, couldn't sleep. The clock ticked past midnight, and the house creaked under the weight of silence. Timmy clutched Labubu close, her soft body warm in his chest. "Tell me a story," he whispered, not expecting an answer. But then, Labubu's eyes flickered a subtle glow that Timmy mistook for moonlight. Her stitched mouth seemed to twitch, and a soft, eerie voice emerged, like wind through ancient trees. "Ah, little one," Labubu murmured, her voice a blend of sweetness and shadow. "You wish for stories, not the ones of light and laughter, but the secret, scary ones, the tales that adults hide away, locked in dusty attics of the mind. Very well, but remember, once heard, they cannot be unheard. They will crawl into your dreams and nest there forever." Timmy's heart raced, a mix of excitement and fear. He nodded, pulling the blankets tighter. Labubu began her first tale, her voice weaving through the air like invisible threads. "Listen closely to the story of the Whispering Walls. In a town much like yours, there was a house on Elm Street, old and weary, with walls that remembered everything. The family who lived there, mother, father, and little Sarah thought nothing of the faint murmurs at night. Just the wind, they said. But Sarah knew better. She pressed her ear to the plaster one evening and heard voices. Help us! Trapped forever! At first, it was playful echoes of past laughter, but soon the whispers turned dark. They spoke of the builder, a mad architect who sealed his enemies alive within the walls during construction. Their bones became the foundation, their souls the mortar. Night after night, Sarah listened, learning their names, their pleas. Free us, they begged. One stormy night, driven by pity, Sarah took a hammer and chipped at the wall. A crack formed, and from it poured not dust, but a cold, inky blackness that swallowed the light. The whispers grew louder, no longer trapped. They slithered into the family's ears, planting seeds of madness. Mother saw shadows that weren't there. Father heard accusations from empty rooms. Sarah, she vanished into the wall itself, her voice joining the chorus. Now, the house stands empty, but if you pass by at midnight, press your ear close, you'll hear them all, including Sarah, whispering your name, inviting you to join. Timmy shivered, his eyes darting to the walls of his own room. Is that real? He asked. Labubu's eyes twinkled mischievously. Real enough to fear, dear child. But that's just the beginning. Shall I tell another? The tale of the mirror's twin? Timmy hesitated but nodded, enthralled. In every home, there's a mirror that holds more than your reflection. In a quiet suburb, Emily loved her antique vanity mirror, passed down from her grandmother. It was ornate, with silver edges etched in forgotten runes. Emily would brush her hair before it, admiring her smile. But one day, she noticed something odd. Her reflection blinked when she didn't. At first, she laughed it off as tiredness, but the discrepancies grew. Her mirror self wore a dress she didn't own, smiled with teeth too sharp. It's just imagination, her parents said. Yet Emily couldn't stop staring. One night, alone, she whispered to the glass. Who are you? The reflection leaned forward, pressing against the surface. I'm you, it hissed, but better, trapped here by the witch who forged this mirror centuries ago. She cursed twins to live in reflections, stealing lives from the real world. Emily's heart pounded as the mirror twin reached out, her hand emerging from the glass like rippling water. In a panic, Emily smashed the mirror, shards flying everywhere. But the twin didn't disappear. She multiplied in every fragment, whispering from broken pieces under the bed, in the closet. Emily's family found her the next morning, staring blankly, her body occupied by the other. Now, if you look too long in any mirror, especially at dusk, you might see your twin wink, waiting for the moment to switch places. The room felt colder now, the shadows longer. Timmy clutched Labubu tighter, but she continued, her voice unrelenting. More! Very well. Hear the secret of the forgotten playground. Deep in the woods behind an abandoned school, there's a playground where swings creak without wind and slides echo with ghostly giggles. Children once played there, but one autumn day, a fog rolled in, thick and unnatural. The kids, Tommy, Lisa, and 5 others didn't notice at first. They laughed and ran, but the fog swallowed their cries. When it cleared, the playground was empty. Parents searched, but no trace. Years later, hikers reported hearing laughter from the rusted equipment. One brave soul, a teenager named Alex, ventured in at twilight. He sat on a swing, and it began to move on its own. Whispers surrounded him. Play with us. Stay forever. The spirits were the lost children, bound by an ancient curse from the land's dark history. Witch's revenge on the village that burned her. She turned the playground into a trap, luring innocents to join her eternal game. Alex tried to run, but vines twisted around his ankles, pulling him into the earth. Now, the playground waits, swings swaying invitingly. If you hear giggles in the wind, turn away or you'll be the next to play. Labubu paused, her fluffy body seeming to pulse with an inner rhythm. Timmy's eyes were wide, but he whispered, one more. Please, she chuckled softly, a sound like rustling leaves. Brave soul. Then listen to the curse of the shadow puppeteer. In a traveling carnival long ago, there was a puppeteer named Elias, with shadows that danced on his tent walls, telling stories of wonder. But Elias had a secret. He wasn't controlling the shadows. They controlled him. Stolen from the void between worlds, these entities hungered for life. One night, a girl named Mia sneaked into his show after hours. The shadows noticed her, twisting into grotesque forms, elongated limbs, gaping mouths. Join the dance, they whispered through Elias's voice. Mia froze as her own shadow detached from her feet, slithering toward the puppeteer's stage. The shadows were souls of performers who died in a fire, bound to Elias by a demonic pact. They fed on new victims, pulling them into the darkness to become puppets. Mia fought, shining a lantern that banished them temporarily, but Elias laughed maniacally. You can't escape your shadow. She fled, but ever since, her shadow lags behind, whispering secrets, waiting to drag her back. Beware carnivals at night, child. If your shadow stretches too far, it might not be yours anymore. As the tales flowed, Labubu delved deeper into the abyss of secrets. She spoke of the doll house of echoes, where miniature dolls reenacted the tragedies of their owners' lives, predicting doom. A boy named Jack found one in his attic. The dolls mirrored his family, down to the arguments. One day a doll fell, breaking hours later. His sister tumbled downstairs. Jack burned the dollhouse, but the echoes lingered, dolls' voices haunting his dreams, foretelling his own end. Then came the legend of the Midnight Librarian. In a forgotten library, shelves groaned under tomes of forbidden knowledge. The librarian, an ageless figure with eyes like black voids, guarded books that read you back. Clara, a bookworm, stayed past closing, drawn to a glowing volume. As she read, the words twisted, revealing her deepest fears. Monsters under her bed were real, feeding on forgotten memories. The book was alive, a trap set by the librarian, a vampire of minds, sucking thoughts until victims became empty husks. Clara slammed it shut, but ink stained her fingers, words crawling up her arms. She escaped, but now she hears pages turning in her head, stories unfolding without end, driving her mad. Labubu's voice grew huskier with each yarn.